Honestly, not very well.
Oh,
Let me tell you why.
yeah.
Last last night I got together with my school time friends, on a call,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
it went until 12:30 midnight, after
Oh,
midnight.
okay. Yeah.
And then my wife woke me up with an alarm she set on her mobile phone at about 4:30. So I got to sleep maybe about 3.5 hours only. And then
Oh,
I'm feeling a little
yeah.
bit, disoriented because of that. But other than that, everything is great. Hey, Alejandro.
Hello, teacher.
So let's see. Noelia, I think you have become tall. You have grown tall in last 2, 3 years. Your height has increased a lot. Is that right?
Oh, my hair?
Maya,
Yeah.
your height as well, your
Oh,
hair
my
and
height. So yeah, a bit, I think.
a bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
just a bit.
when you started, you looked smaller, and Alejandro too. Now both of you look grown up to me because I still remember the first time I saw you guys. You were a lot tinier than now.
Yeah. Yeah, a
Uh,
long time.
okay, and how are the celebration going?
Oh, it's
Christmas.
going good. Yeah, we're gonna eat turkey.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're gonna spend time together.
Are the
Yeah.
customs going to be any different now that you are in Canada? Are there going to be any in the customs?
No, I don't think so. It's the same. Like be in family, open the gifts at night, and then yeah, just like sing, listen like Christmas song. I think that's it. Like nothing new, I can
Mhm.
say. Yeah,
So it's very universal. The way it is celebrated and the things you do is pretty universal. Wherever you are, the things are pretty much the same. You know, Look, locality doesn't really matter so much. Like where you are, it doesn't really impact the way you celebrate it.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Hey, Rodrigo, welcome.
Hi, teacher.
Is Gonzalo coming too?
Yeah, in a few minutes.
Okay. And the Indian students are all asking.
Oh, also, teacher in Peru, we try to like do fireworks. I
Hmm?
don't know if you know, but here, no, we don't do that. It's like one thing like we don't do here. But yeah, fireworks.
Okay. Hmm.
Also here it's snowing right now, so that's cool. That's cool because last year it didn't snow and I was so sad because it was my first Christmas here and it didn't snow. So right now it's snowing and I'm happy.
Yes, because
Yeah.
while you were in Peru, you never experienced snow, right? It was the
Yeah,
first.
yeah, in my city no, but like in the other places of Peru, yeah, but I never go there like in Christmas, right?
So you've seen, snow, but not snow on Christmas, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. When I travel by car to my like mom's town, I always like see ice, snow, but like I like don't like touch the snow because I was like going through, right?
Mhm. Right.
So
Interesting.
yeah, because right now Cusco is snowing. So it's like snow, a lot of snow in Cusco. So yeah.
You will find it. Just a second. 33. So unit 3, right? From 3 is here. Unit 3, page number 140. We are gonna look at some grammar points very quickly. Hey,
Good
Pankri.
morning, sir.
Good morning. And Kushi is also here. Okay. There are a couple of more students who want to be in the class, but timing is such that they can't. One lives in Iraq and the other, Rizana would love to be here, but then, their timing is a little different. They are 4 hours behind our time, nearly. So it's midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning for them. Okay, guys, very important so that we never have any confusion. Pankari, Kushi, all of you, please learn. You know, in English, mostly when you form sentences, okay, verbs are in two parts, okay, helping and main. Helping verb is also called auxiliary verb and the main verb. Take an example. I don't eat chicken. So don't eat. Okay, two words. They are both verbs. Don't is the auxiliary. Eat is the main. I don't eat chicken. Next. I am not listening to you. I'm not listening to you. Again, you have two verbs. I'm not listening. The third sentence. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen that yet. Again, we have two verbs. Haven't is the auxiliary. Seen is the main verb, right? So in English, we have two verbs, one helping and then the main. Okay. There is a reason why I'm giving you negative sentence examples, because I want you to just see this pattern without any irregularity, okay, without any inconsistency. Let's have another. I didn't go there yesterday. I didn't go. Didn't go. Again, you have auxiliary didn't, go, the main verb. They were having fun. They were having fun. Now, again, past continuous, we have were, having. So, two verbs, helping verb, were, and main verb, having. They were having fun. And they had never seen that. They had never seen that. Again, you have had and seen. Okay. So, the point is, in English, you will see two verbs, auxiliary and main. And why did I give negative examples? Because I wanted you to notice this without any inconsistency. Because in positive sentences, there is one tense where you will not see two forms, the auxiliary and the main. There is one tense which actually doesn't use any, helping verb, auxiliary verb in the positive form, and that's simple tense, indefinite tense. In indefinite tense, the auxiliaries are missing. For example, I go to school. Where is the auxiliary? The auxiliary is gone. Now we have one verb. They go to school. Okay. Let's take another. They came here last night. They came. One verb, came. So simple tense in positive sentences uses only one verb, the main verb. There is no auxiliary. But only in positive. The moment you go to the question, sorry, negative, you have the auxiliary. Okay. So let's look at the auxiliary verbs very carefully. In the present simple tense, okay, we say, I don't speak French. So the helping verb is don't, and the main verb is speak. I don't speak French. So let's understand that in present simple, the helping verb, the auxiliary verb is do. Because when you want to use the subject he, then you say, he doesn't work here anymore. He doesn't work here anymore. So when you're saying he doesn't work here anymore, present simple, again you are using do as the auxiliary verb, are you not? He doesn't work here. When you use the past simple, you use the same do in the past form, and you say, they didn't agree with me. They didn't agree with me. Didn't is a form of do, yes or no?
It is.
So in the present simple tense or the past simple tense, Understand what we are saying. When you talk about the simple tense, okay, then present or past, your auxiliary is do. Do is your auxiliary in different forms, depending on the tense. If it is the present, then do in the present form, do and does. And if it is past, then do in the past form, which is did. So, which verb works as the auxiliary in the simple tenses, guys? Yes, it is do.
Does.
Do and does.
Yeah, don't say do and does, say do and the forms of do as per the need, as per the need. So the verb do works as an auxiliary helping in the simple tenses. Do verb, after all, when you use didn't, in the past simple, where does did come from? Did is the past form of do. So we can simply say do is the verb that works as the auxiliary in the simple tenses. Right? Take a look here. I work from 9 to 5, present simple. In positive, it's an exception that there is no auxiliary. Otherwise, English sentences will have two verbs, auxiliary and main. But this is an exception. In positive sentences, we don't have an auxiliary. I work from 9 to 5. Will you be able to remember this? And then they don't work full time. We have the auxiliary do and not come together and it becomes don't. They don't work full time. Where do you work? Do you work? Okay, now, obviously, when we use he, she, it, then we add s. And we add s to everything. We add s to everything. Take a look here. Earlier it was I don't work. Now we have he doesn't work. We added s to the auxiliary. Okay. Where do you live? Where does she live? We added s to the auxiliary. Answers. Do we live in Bristol? Do you live in Bristol? Yeah, we do. Okay. So the present simple, as we learned, do verb works as the auxiliary in the simple tenses. Now, what are the simple tenses? So let's talk about the present simple first. The present simple is used to express an action that happens again and again as a habit or a routine, where we have to think of repetition. The idea expresses repetition. I go to work by car. This cannot be one day, It is something that happens again and again, and you express it this way. I go to work by car. She calls me every day, right? We talk every day, right? Like this. So this is present simple. It happens again and again. Sometimes there are things which are facts. Facts. For example, Ronaldo comes from Brazil. There is no repetition here. There is no repetition. It's not he comes again and again. He comes. It's not like that. Okay? Here, he comes from Brazil, means he's a Brazilian. All right? My daughter has brown eyes. Okay? There is no repetition here because in English, there are two types of verbs, dynamic verbs and state verbs. So state verbs are used in the present simple to state facts, to mention facts. I am a teacher. Okay, I teach English. Understand? I work in a bank. Stuff like that. I work in a school. So these are present simple, of course. Action that happens again and again. Facts which are always true. We know everything about it, like how we use S with the verb, when the subject is he, she, it. Pankri, you know it very well. I think you do. I totally believe you do. But while speaking, you often leave S out. Subconsciously, you don't care about this S, he work sounds pretty much the same to your mind. Okay. So you need to just while speaking. I'm pretty sure you know this. Okay. It's not
Yeah.
a new information to you. It's not new information to anybody here, I think. But sometimes what happens while we're speaking, this letter S, kind of, slips. We kind of drop it and we don't realize it. Well, it is something that we need to be careful about. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's move on. So spelling, how we change the spelling? Well, it's easy. Normally we add S. Sometimes we have to add ES. Kisses, washes, watches, fixes, goes. Okay. And the rules, like, when the verbs end with S, SH, CH, X, O, then we normally add ES. Okay. I don't know if you need this rule or you are just used to writing the correct form of, ES form, correct the spelling of ES form. And then number three, verbs that end in consonant plus Y, carry, fly, worry, try. Then this is how we change the spelling. We change Y into I and we add ES. Fly, FLIES, flies. So this is something that we are familiar with, I guess. I don't need to emphasize too much on these points. But then there are verbs where we do not need to do this because before the Y, we will have a vowel letter. Buys, says, plays, enjoys. Okay, remember, this is not pronounced says, it is pronounced says. Okay, okay, he says. Oh no, we pronounce says, he says, but when it comes to the second form, said, there we have quick, said, not said. Here we say says, he says. Yeah, absolutely. He says. All right. Moving on to frequency adverbs. Okay. So there are lots of frequency adverbs in English. Take a look at them here. And they have been written in a certain order, if you notice. And the order is from 0 to 100. Never means, of course, 0, never, 0, and 100% always. And everything else falls in between. Rarely, hardly ever, not often, sometimes, often, usually. Okay. There are many more actually. We have not put all the frequency adverbs here. There are quite a few. Okay. So there are some more as well. Learn them as you continue in English, now and then, and stuff like that. There is an expression now and then. Okay. Means again, now and then means also sometimes, often, now and then. But don't try to quantify these. One mistake we make as learners, we try to quantify these words. We want a number, like we have 0, 50, 100. So we think, okay, rarely means 20%, 15%. We want that as if it is even possible to, do that. There is no equation, there is no formula that can help you decide 15% or 20%. It's a feeling, Rarely gives you feeling of nearly never. Okay, nearly never is rarely. It is close to hardly ever. Okay, hardly ever. Okay, so it's not like you have to really differentiate between them a lot. That okay, there must be a difference between rarely or hardly ever. No, you can once you say rarely, and then you can say hardly ever about the same activity. It's not like that. I rarely go to the cinema. Okay. And I later can say I hardly ever go to the cinema. And there isn't a difference. There isn't a difference. Both of them mean the same thing, that I don't go to the cinema very often. I rarely go to the cinema. I hardly ever go to the cinema. Got it, everyone? So don't think there is a big difference. Yes, you can clearly feel the difference between rarely and sometimes. Okay? Because rarely is more, I will say, sometimes is more often than rarely. It's a stronger, okay? The frequency increases in sometimes in comparison to rarely. If I say I rarely go to the cinema, and if I say I sometimes go to the cinema, then people will definitely think of me as someone who doesn't like cinema a lot when I say the word rarely. But sometimes it's not the same thing, okay? So rarely is definitely less frequent and sometimes is more frequent. As we are going towards right, often, usually, these become more frequent, obviously, because they're closer to always. So just remember these words usually go before the verb. You can see start, usually start. See, rarely see. Okay, but when the verb is be, they are usually here by now. They are usually here by now. I'm usually tired in the morning. I'm usually tired in the morning. So I usually am, no, I am usually tired. I'm usually tired in the morning. But remember one important point, because you guys are learning English not just for an exam, you're learning English to be able to communicate with native speakers as well. So I would like to add some point here. Um, do you get up early? If I ask, do you get up early? And then you say, yeah, I always do, or I do always.
I do always.
I always do.
I always do.
Yeah, I always do. Okay, just like here, I always do. No problem. Now here's another. We are rarely at home at weekends. Okay. Um, are you are you are you happy in your English class? Are you happy in your class? English class? Well, I usually am. Okay. Now notice this one.
Usually.
I usually am. This is the word. Okay. I guess I usually am. Yeah. I am usually now. That I am usually happy in my class is used when your sentence is full. When your sentence is full, the word order is different. When your sentence is short, your word order is different. I'm usually happy in my class. But when it is short, I usually am. Yeah, I usually am. Okay. So when be verb is used in a full sentence with these frequency adverbs, notice the frequency adverbs come after be verb. But when it is a short sentence, a short reply, okay, then the order changes. They usually are. Are they on time? Are they on time? Well, they usually are. I don't know why today they're not, but they usually are. They usually are. But if you want to say the whole sentence, yeah, they are usually on time. They are usually on time. They're never late, or they're rarely late. Okay, like that. So I hope you got the point, how the short answer word order changes, slightly. I guess you guys can notice these things when because I don't know if one can learn and remember these things just because they listen to it from the teacher. I find it very difficult to accept that this can happen. It never happened with me. I learned a lot of things with exposure. The more I listen to something, the more comfortable and confident I feel about using the same, you know. So I think you guys should also just focus maybe on the word order when it comes to the frequency adverbs, everyone. Let me try and ask you a couple of questions just to see if you have understood the idea right now, okay? So Alejandro, uh, how do I say? Are you happy at school, Alejandro? Are you happy at school?
Yes, I am.
Very
Uh,
good. Use one frequency adverb and give me a short answer. Are you happy at school?
yes, I usually am
Perfect.
happy.
Everybody, did you notice? Yeah, I usually am. Yeah, got it. So that's important that you do not, because the rule says be verb comes before the frequency adverb. Yes, true, when it is a full sentence. Okay. I'm never hungry in the morning. I'm never hungry early in the morning. Okay, like that. So, but when it is a short answer, the word order changes. Okay. Now, moving on. Some of these, frequency adverbs like sometimes and usually, well, they are free. They don't have to come always before the verb. They can come at the beginning, they can come at the end of the sentences, doesn't matter. Okay, they mean the same. Now, another continuous, simple tense is over, now continuous. When we talk about continuous, then notice I am teaching you tenses right now. I'm teaching you tenses. Here, the verb is am teaching. You are listening to me carefully. You are listening. Again, we have are listening. Okay. Are is the auxiliary and listening is the main verb. So the main verb is in the fourth form, obviously, in the continuous tense. When whatever, past continuous, present continuous, doesn't matter. The verb, main verb is in the fourth form. And before the main verb, the auxiliary in the continuous is be verb. So do works as the auxiliary in the simple tenses, and be works as the auxiliary in the continuous tenses. That's what we need to, take from here, from this class. Obviously, be verb works as the helping verb, as the auxiliary in continuous tenses. If it is past continuous, the past form of be, was verb, but be verb. So be verb plus the fourth form of the verb, that's continuous tenses. I'm playing tennis. He's cooking lunch. I'm not enjoying my new job. Everybody will see be verb and another verb, the main verb in the fourth form, which is called the present participle for, technical knowledge. Okay, and in English, we do one thing when we form questions. What do? We let the auxiliary come before the subject. When we form a question, the auxiliary jumps from after the subject to before the subject. That's the switch in the question. So just remember that. Where are you living? What's he doing? But remember, we only need this arrangement when we are asking. When we are asking for information. If we are not asking for information, we will not need this word order. Listen to this very important piece of information. Where is she? Okay, why is she crying? Why is she crying? I want information. So I'll ask this way. Why is she crying? I'm not asking for information. I say, I don't know. Then I will say, I don't know why she is crying. Okay. Not that I don't know why is she crying. A lot of Indians do this, I know. Noelia, Alejandro, Rodrigo, tell me if you are prone to this mistake. I don't know why is she crying. I don't know why she is crying. Which will you go with?
I think it's correct. Why she is crying?
Exactly. I don't know why she's crying. Tell me why she's crying. Can anyone tell me why she's crying? Because here the question is, can anyone tell me, not why, okay? So that part will always be why she is crying. When we are putting this, can anyone tell me? I don't know. Does anybody know why she's crying? Does anybody know why she is crying? So this is how it goes, everybody. I hope you understand that this word order is only necessary, be verb before the subject, when we are asking for information. Short answers. Are you going by train? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. We never say amn't. We never say amn't. That's one thing you should never say amn't. Am not, separate, okay? Never together. Like is and not come together and make isn't. Are and not come together and the contracted form is called aren't. But am and not are not used together. There is nothing called amn't, okay? It doesn't exist in English, amn't, okay? It doesn't exist. So never say.
The ain't, what about ain't? AIN apostrophe T.
That's very, very, common in some parts of the world, but it is not part of standard English. So in a class, you don't need to learn that because you are not supposed to use it anywhere where you want to sound academic and formal. Not at all. Yes, you want to gel with this group of people where they use it, then you can try it just to be part of their group, you know. Otherwise, as an Indian, as foreign learners of English, you are never supposed to say and anywhere. You know, not even in America, everybody does it. Okay, it's popular with certain group of people, and it's very easy actually. They don't want the trouble of am not, is not, are not, so they simply use one form, am, ain't. Okay, ain't. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Also, I saw the word AIN apostrophe T. What does that mean? I don't understand
Oh,
because we used to use this.
I kind of explained that, Noelia. Ain't
Oh,
is,
this word
yeah,
ain't? Oh,
yes,
okay.
ain't is a substandard English expression which some native speakers use because they are too lazy to differentiate between am not, isn't, aren't, don't, doesn't. They don't want to do that. So they simply use the word ain't. Okay. And remember, it is always part of substandard, you know, casual
Mhm.
conversation, never used in, you know, very formal situations. But
Yeah.
now that you are living in Canada, sometimes you'll come across people who use that. You know, there are people in America, usually black people, and they use ain't a lot. Okay. So,
Mm,
and some other people who are not very educated, they also use it. And I can tell you that sometimes people who are very educated, when they go back to their friends, you know, they also start using it when they are with their friends only. But when they are at work, they don't. So ain't is not something that you guys should use. You should know what it is so that you understand what the person is saying. But
mhm.
that's it. You're not supposed to use it at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, it is one option for multiple things so that they don't have to choose. Okay. And going there. I'm not going there. He ain't coming. Okay. He ain't know nothing. He ain't know nothing like that. So you're not supposed to use all that. But just know that, okay, it's a standard auxiliary verb for almost everything. I'm not, is not, aren't, don't, doesn't. All five can be replaced with ain't. Okay, I wish it was part of standard English because then we would be saved from the trouble of choosing between the auxiliaries.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't really sound very harmful. Think about it. We have different subjects, isn't it? I am saying I, then I'm saying I and go. Okay, go, I and go, and I'm going. So everybody can understand what exactly it means. It's not that it doesn't serve the purpose. It serves the purpose. I don't know why they don't use it as standard English. Maybe in 50 years' time, 100 years' time, it will become mainstream. It will become a standard, being part of standard English. I don't know. But it will be definitely a big relief for all the foreign learners, you know, because they struggle quite a bit with so many forms. However, English definitely has the least number of forms for verbs, you know, compared to many other languages I know, like Hindi, Spanish, Italian. You know, they all have multiple forms for each verb, you know, but English has only 5 forms. And as you can see, the auxiliary, mainly 3 auxiliaries, do all the job. It is do, be, and when we talk about the present perfect, the auxiliary will be have. Okay, have. So English tenses are very simple in one aspect, you know, because the verb forms are limited. So it definitely doesn't give you as many headaches as some other languages might. You know, try and learn German, Sanskrit, French, Spanish, Italian. There are verb forms, multiple verb forms. Okay, you have to be careful about the gender of the words as well, and it's all complicated. No wonder English is the international language. It's easy, you know, may not be easy to master, but definitely much easier to use to communicate. All right, moving on, the uses of the present continuous. So as we have learned the uses of the present simple, and we notice that present simple is used to refer to repeated actions and habits and routines and facts about the present. The present continuous is used to talk about actions in progress now. Actions in progress now. Activities that are happening now. Don't turn off the TV. I'm watching it. It's happening now, okay? You can't speak to Lisa. You can't speak to Lisa. She's having a bath. She's having a bath. She's in the bathroom right now. She's having a bath. Okay. So present continuous, guys, it refers to activities in progress right now. Okay. They have started, they haven't finished yet. Okay. Sometimes this is important that this present continuous refers to those activities which are not necessarily happening, but they're in progress in some ways. They're in the middle some ways. For example, I'm reading a good book. Not necessarily now I'm talking to you. Maybe I'm out on the road walking with you, and then I say, hey, you know what? I'm reading a great novel these days. What does it mean? I'm reading. It means I have started, I haven't finished it yet. Okay, I'm in the middle of the novel. So I'm reading a novel. Not necessarily at the moment of speaking. Okay, so present continuous refers to actions which are in progress at this moment, and maybe not at this moment, but around now. The action has started, hasn't finished. Okay. A temporary activity. Point number 3. I hope the first and the second points are clear. Okay. And then the third point is very important. Sometimes the present continuous gives you the idea of temporariness. Okay. They just give you the idea of temporariness. Somebody says, I teach English, and somebody says, I'm teaching English in a school these days. So when they say I'm teaching English, they're giving you an idea of this job being temporary. You know, when somebody says I teach English in a school, and somebody says I'm teaching English in a school, they are both right. They're both correct grammatically. One person means this job is more permanent. You know, I teach English. And the other person who says I'm teaching English in a school, he wants to make it sound like it's a temporary thing, maybe. He might switch, he might change his job, you know. So I'm teaching English. You know, I'm living in some place and I live in some place. Again, both are correct. You don't have to choose between which is right, which is wrong. They're both correct, but they mean slightly different things. The present simple gives you the idea of, you know, permanence or maybe longer activity. And then temporary thing, you know, we refer to them using the present continuous tense. Well, my house is under construction, so I am living in my neighbor's house. I'm living in my neighbor's house, temporary, okay? All right. I'm living with friends until I find a place of my own. I'm living with friends until I find a place of my own. Peter is a student, but he's working as a waiter during the holidays. Notice this. Peter is a student, but he's working as a waiter during the holidays, okay? So this present continuous clearly sounds it is a temporary thing. He may not work as a waiter for long, okay? While he's a student, he may be doing it, but he'll stop once he's got a job or something. So the idea of temporariness is expressed with the present continuous in contrast with the present simple. Present simple doesn't do that. The present simple doesn't express the idea of the this temporariness. Remember that important point. Sometimes people feel confused whether this or that. Well, both are correct. The present simple and the present continuous in some situations. The feeling is different. Okay. I'm not speaking to him. I don't speak to him. I'm not speaking to him. I don't speak to him. Which makes you sound like we recently fell out and we might make up soon?
I'm not speaking to him.
Yeah. I'm not speaking to him gives you the feeling that perhaps we fell out, we had an argument, and we are not talking temporarily, okay? Temporarily. but we will start communicating very soon, maybe, right? Not speaking to him. But I don't speak to him makes you sound like, okay, it's a permanent thing, maybe longer, right? I don't speak to him. Okay. Well, I don't drink and I'm not drinking, which seems like a temporary abstinence, that for a few days I'm staying away. I don't drink or I'm not drinking.
I'm not drinking.
And I don't drink sounds like a permanent thing. This person doesn't drink, okay? So that's the difference. Both are correct. The feeling is different. Spelling of verb plus ing. Going, wearing, visiting, eating. Normally you just add ing. That's the basic rule. Sometimes what you have to do, you have to remove the E, the last E. Smoke has an E, come has an E, hope has an E, write has an E. So you remove the E and then add ing, okay? But remember this, the most confusing spelling, guys. The most confusing spelling. Lie, L-I-E, okay? To speak something that is not true, to lie, okay? And then lying. You're lying, okay? To lie means to also be in a horizontal position to the surface, right? To lie to the bed or something. Lie in bed, okay? The spelling is the same. I'm lying in bed, okay? So very interesting spelling here. Okay, but if there is double E, okay, we do not drop that. Well, they start protesting, there are two of them. They'll say, how can you drop us? I'm not alone that you can drop me. Now we are two, we will protest. And people listen. People say, okay, fine, no problems. You guys can stay. So when there is one E, we drop it and we do injustice. But when there are double E's, then we don't feel strong enough to do that. So we maintain that E, seeing, okay, agreeing, guys. All right. Verbs of one syllable. Okay. Well, this is something, if you guys are familiar with syllables, then you should know if there is a verb with one syllable, only one vowel letter, and after that only one consonant letter, means there are three conditions. One, single syllable words, only one vowel letter, and only one consonant letter after that vowel. In that case, you will double the consonant. Stop, one syllable verb, only one vowel letter O, and after that only one consonant P. So when you write stopping, you double the P. Get, single syllable verb, only one vowel letter E, only one consonant letter T, so you double the T and you say getting. Run, single syllable verb, only one vowel letter U, only one consonant letter N after U. So when you add ing, you add running. So there are some more examples you can think of. Okay, you have cut, you have plan. Okay, plan is also single syllable verb. There is only one vowel letter A, and then only one consonant letter N. So when you add ing, you double the N, planning. Okay. Well, if the final consonant is Y or W, it is not double. Playing, showing. Okay, fine. So a lot of you guys don't need such rules because you have already kind of become familiar with the spellings because you have been exposed to, these spellings so often that you guys know. But the rule helps sometimes. Okay. Now, when we are talking about the present continuous and present simple, the idea of a state verbs become very important in English because in some other languages, these state verbs can be expressed in the continuous tenses. But when it comes to English, these are not expressed in the continuous tense. Remember, what are state verbs? As the name says, state verbs, it means they do not refer to actions. They refer to states. State means condition. Okay? State, not in a good state. It is in a bad state, means bad condition. So state means a condition, a situation. Okay? So state verb. It's important to know the meaning of the word state in this context. Once you understand this, it will sound easy. Okay? You do not do any actions with your body. It is just a state. For example, I ask you to close your book. You will need your hands to close the book, right? If I say, by the way, run, you need your legs to run. I say speak, you need your mouth to, speak. So these are action verbs. We call them dynamic verbs. Okay, there are changes there. But then state verbs, they simply refer to a situation. Now, there is a situation. Situation is you think of mangoes, all right, and you feel happy. Then you can say, I like mangoes. I like mangoes. You are not performing any task. You're not doing any dynamic action, okay? You're sitting there, you're sleeping, you're talking to somebody, and you say, I like mangoes. So like is a verb, no doubt, but like is not a dynamic verb. To understand the idea of dynamic verb and the state verb, guys, I just gave one example. Let's try again. Let's try some more. When you promise something, I promise it, okay? So what does it mean? Can you be in the middle of promise? Because when you do a dynamic activity, you can be in the middle of it. For example, you eat, then you have started eating, you haven't finished, you're eating, okay? So present continuous, as we know, the definition says, an action that has started but hasn't finished. But if it is not an action, how can it start? How can it not finish? And that's why those verbs, which are state verbs, cannot be used. State verbs cannot be used in the continuous tense. For the simple reason, because in English, a state verb in a present continuous means you need to be in the middle of the action. But then there is no action there. So take a look at these. There are certain verbs that are usually used only in the present simple. They describe states or conditions, not activities. Think of it. Believe. I believe that this class is very sincere. Okay. So am I doing an action? No. This is the thing in my mind. This class is, sincere. The students in this class are sincere. That's what I believe. I think this class will do well. Again, when you say I think, so basically the things that happen in your mind, okay, the action of your mind, because you don't really do anything dynamically. So they are called state verbs. Take a look. Believe, think, understand, suppose, expect, agree, okay, doubt, know, remember, promise, mean, imagine, realize, deserve, guess. Majority of them, okay, they are actions of mind, not actions of the body. Your mind performs these, okay? Your mind understands, your mind supposes, your mind expects, not your body. And that's why these are not dynamic verbs, okay? I believe you. In English, we can say, I believe you, not I'm believing you. Nobody says I'm believing you in English, okay? Because it is a state verb. Do you understand what I mean? Instead of saying, are you understanding? Because in Hindi, I know, we can say that. Aap samajh rahe hain na? In Hindi, we can say that, but in English, we can't. Noelia, Alejandro, Rodrigo, and dear Gonzalo, you tell me if you can use any of these state verbs in a continuous tense in Spanish. Like we can do that. We can do, we can use some of these verbs. For example, understand we can use in the continuous in our language, in Hindi. Okay? We can use remember, मुझे याद आ रहा है. All right. मैं याद कर रहा हूँ. Right. We can say that, kinda.
The think as well. I'm thinking.
Well, there are two uses of think, Pankri. In English, think has two uses. Think is a dynamic verb in English too. For example, if I ask you a question and you don't give me a straight away answer, you're doing this. And when I say, come on, Pankri, then you say, wait, sir, I'm thinking. So it is actually a dynamic verb. Okay, it is. But then it is a state verb too when it expresses your opinion. For example, I think global warming is not real. If somebody says, I don't think global warming is real, so they are expressing their opinion here with the verb think, and that think is a state verb. Okay, I think Pankuri is a good student. Okay, when I see that, I'm not actually thinking. That's my opinion. Okay, I'm expressing my opinion. So when think is used to express your opinion, then it is a state verb. But think can be a dynamic verb too, which you perform and you can be in the middle of it. For example, then I say, come on, sir, wait, so I'm thinking. All right. For example, you're just sitting like this, then I ask, what are you thinking about? So you're in the middle of that. Okay. So yeah. And these uses match with Hindi exactly, ditto, Pankuri, ditto. Because in Hindi also we say there is a song, "Sochta hoon wo kitne masoom the." So "sochta hoon" means what? I think about it. I remember that. But again, "tum kya sochte is मामले में" means what's your opinion? So these uses completely agree with the uses in Hindi. Okay. It's just that we don't think so deeply about our own Hindi, our own language. That's why there is a saying, somebody who speaks another language, knows his own language much better. Learning a foreign language helps you understand your own language so much better because then you start to compare. Okay, so I was asking my Spanish-speaking students if they understand what we are discussing here, the state verb idea. Do you use state verbs in English in your own language, Spanish, in the present continuous tense? Any of these? Realize, हम लोग realize कर रहे हैं, हम realize. However, people, I realize it now. Yeah, that sounds more. People do end up saying, I'm realizing it. Okay. But basically it is, I realize it now. Okay. I realize it now instead of I'm realizing it. Okay. I realize it now. It happens because, a lot of people in India, they have Indianized a lot of English. So sometimes they don't really respect this rule so much. And that's called Indian English. Okay. Well, verbs of emotions, verbs of thinking and opinions, first category. Now there is another, verbs of emotions and feelings, like love, hate, care, hope, wish, want, prefer, adore, dislike, So these are, verbs of emotions and feelings. Because they are verbs of emotions and feelings, so they can be a state verb because that's how they are. They refer to a situation, a condition, a state. You hate something, you hate it. You disgust something, you disgust it. That's all. Okay. If something disgusts you, rather, something disgusts you actually. Okay. All right. Let's see. Verbs of having and being. Verbs of having and being. Take a look here. Belong, own, have, possess, contain, cost, seem, matter, need, depend, weigh, resemble, fit, and involve. These are some examples where you don't usually see these verbs in the continuous. In India, students kind of memorize this, parrot these lists, okay? But then if you can remember that this verb was on the list, great. But if you're learning to talk in English, memorizing the list is not going to help you. But if you're doing it for the sake of the exam, then why not? Okay, think about belong. We belong together. There's a lovely song by Mariah Carey. We belong together. Own. I don't own anything. I am totally, broke. Okay. Have. I have something. Possess. She possesses some lovely qualities that,
Possess means like this
you
word.
have something, that's your possession. Okay. When you, for
Okay.
example, you possess some qualities, you have those qualities, you possess some materialistic things, then you are the owner of those things. Okay. So from the verb possess, we get the noun possession. Okay. So contain, something has something like, contains, cost, theme, matter. Whenever you come across these verbs, pay attention. Notice these are verbs of having and being, not doing. Contrast it with doing, okay? Having or being, possession or being. For example, I weigh 65 kilos, okay? I am weighing 65 kilos. No, I weigh 65 kilos. It means my weight is, so it is the verb of being, okay? You resemble your mom. It means you look like your mom. Again, it is about being. You are like your mom. You resemble your mom. So these verbs are verbs of having and being, not the verbs of doing. They will be dynamic verbs. Verbs of the senses: look, hear, taste, smell, feel, sound. These are usually used in the simple tense, not continuous tense. And the food smells good instead of the food is smelling good. In Hindi, again, I haven't learned so much in Spanish. Otherwise, I would love to give a few Spanish examples too. But in Hindi, we say, "Bura smell aa raha." Okay, aa raha hai. That's continuous in Hindi. But in English, we say, there is a bad smell. Something smells bad here. Something smells bad here. Okay, so that's how you go. Guys, these verbs are normally not used in the continuous tense, but they can be used in continuous in some cases. Some of them, not all of them, some of them can be seen in the continuous for a slightly different meaning. For a slightly different meaning. Understand that. For example, look. So you look great. Okay. Why are you looking at me like that? Totally fine, because here look is not a state verb. You are actually performing the action with your eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? Okay, totally fine. That looking is okay. Now, when I say here, he is hearing voices. He's hearing voices. Now, this hearing, he's hearing voices, is okay because it talks about a different kind of thing. It, that person, imagines things that other people don't, he imagines voices. Okay, he's hearing voices. What does it mean, people? Somebody hears voices. What does it mean? It means they are going crazy in a way. All right. There is no voice, but they hear something. Okay. Okay. So, sometimes we can use them in the continuous tenses, but for a slightly different meaning. Okay.
So like feel, I'm feeling happy or I'm feeling lonely.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, sometimes you will see them. Again, if you keep yourself exposed to standard English and you come across these verbs being used in the continuous, you can pay attention and learn that, oh, this is the context here. Okay. So the idea the idea cannot be, I will say, it is not over because the teacher has taught this. It just starts there. I talk about this kind of thing, and then you guys look for this kind of use of these words in English that you listen to, English that you read, there you look for it. Okay, yeah, now I understand it better. Look at this. My food smells good. Okay, not that, oh, it's happening now, so my food is smelling good. No, my food smells good. My hair feels soft. Okay, it's not that, oh, it's happening now, so we will use the continuous. Yes, it's happening now, but these are state verbs. Your hair is soft now, but because it is soft, it is being, so my hair feels soft. She sounds like a good girl. She sounds like a good girl. Okay. We often can use, we can use can when the subject is a person. With these verbs, okay, if you want to give the idea of continuity, okay, this is the best. I can hear someone crying, means it is happening now. I can hear someone crying, means it is temporary, right? I can hear someone crying, means right now, it's happening. Can you smell something burning? Can you smell something? Means happening now. So the use of can is very, very common with these verbs of senses, guys. Okay. Take a look. As I was saying, some of these verbs can be used in the present continuous, but with a change of meaning. In the continuous, the verb expresses an activity, not a state. I think you're right. This is opinion. We are thinking of going to the cinema. It's not an opinion. It's a mental activity we are performing. He has a lot of money. Possession. Possession comes from the verb possess complete. She's having a bad day. Now, it means she's enjoying it. She's having a bath. Have, not as possession, action. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I understand what you mean. Are you seeing Nigel tomorrow? Are you going to meet Nigel tomorrow? Are you seeing anybody or you're single? That again, seeing is fine. Dating. The soup tastes awful. I'm tasting the soup to see if it needs salt. I'm doing an activity. I'm putting some of the soup on my mouth, okay, on my tongue. I'm tasting the soup to see if it needs salt. So sometimes you will come across these verbs being used in the continuous, but remember, the meaning will not be a state, the meaning will be slightly different. So remember, when a verb refers to a state or a condition rather than an action, then we do not use it in the continuous tense. Simple and easy. If it is being used in the continuous, it has to be a dynamic verb, a verb that we can be in the middle of, an action that we can be in the middle of. And that's why the present continuous tense. Now, the passive. Remember, we talked about the passive the other day on Saturday, on Friday, actually. I think who was not here? Rodrigo and Gonzalo were not
I wasn't
present.
here as
Yeah,
well.
we talked a little bit about the passive. I think I shared the video with you, Pankaj.
You haven't.
I don't know if it is still there because nowadays I'll check if it is available. I'll share maybe.
Yeah, please.
Take a look here. Are you being served? Are you being served? Now, a servant serves you. You are not the servant. You're the first guest. Are you being served? Is somebody serving you? Another way of saying, is somebody serving you? But that somebody is not important here. So why use it in the sentence? Simply ask, are you being served, sir? Are you being taken care of? Are you being served? Okay, look at the words in bold. Okay, are, being. Don't you think it is the present continuous? Be verb and continuous form. Are and being. Forget about the word served. Leave that. Just look at are and being. When you have these two together and are is before the subject you, then which tense is it?
Present continuous.
By the look of it, you can easily decide. Just by looking at it, you can say, oh, are you being? This has to be continuous. And then we have a third form, served, which makes it passive voice. Are you being served? So passive voice is be verb plus the third form of the verb, past participle. What is passive? To be plus past participle. That's passive form. So passive form of eat is be eaten. The passive form of teach is be taught. The passive form of break is be broken. The passive form of buy is be bought. And once you have, I'll try and very quickly give, because three guys were not there, I think. So I'm going to quickly write. Okay. We watched is the passive form of watch, right? Be bought is the passive form of buy. We bought. We served is the passive form of serve. Okay. Remember, now all we need to do is, depending on the tense, we will change the form of be verb because that's our main verb. By the way, listen, guys, this be is not the auxiliary. This be is not the auxiliary. That's the point I'm making here. Very important. We learned that be verb works as an auxiliary in the continuous tense. But here, we are not saying it is continuous tense. We are simply saying it is passive form. Passive form, there is a pattern punctuation. I want you to give me the passive form of the verb teach.
Be taught.
Be taught. Okay. So let's take this example, be taught, and use it in different tenses. At STC, the students are taught well, present simple. When I use present simple, I'll use the simple form of be verb, which is am, are. And students are taught. Where does this are come from, Pankri? This be verb. So Gonzalo, pay attention. The students are taught well at this institute. Students are taught well. Got it? Now, another. Students are being taught right now. Students are being. I added ing to this be verb. Which form? Fourth form. And I'm using is, am, are. So that is present continuous. The students are being taught right now. If I want to use the present perfect, I will say the students have, and then the third form. The students have. Go on, anyone, Pankri, Gonzalo, anybody.
Students have been taught.
The students have been taught. Got it? Past tense. Students. Come on, go. Everybody try if you can. Past tense, simple past.
Students were
Students were taught.
Yes, negative. The students were not taught. The students
weren't
Weren't taught.
weren't taught. Now somebody will say, sir, didn't? Oh, didn't is used only in the active, okay? The students were taught. The negative, the students were not taught. Okay. Past continuous. The students were being taught.
Being taught.
The past perfect. The students had been taught. The students had been taught. Because in past perfect, we use auxiliary had, and then we use the third form. So basically, the point is, when you are using the passive form, this verb be changes according to tense. It becomes the main verb. Be becomes the main verb. Okay, everybody? Be is our main verb in the passive. That's the point that we need to understand. And then nothing, no new rule. Just follow the rules of tense. The English tenses, simply take a look at these examples here. My car is insured. A fact. My car is insured. It's a fact, by the way. It's not a repeated action, guys. It's a fact. My car is insured with ASM. It is a fact. Present simple refers to two things: repeated action and facts. Okay? The sun rises in the east. The earth is round. Okay? So, my car is insured with ASM. Okay. Were you taken to visit the cathedral? Were you taken to visit the cathedral? Did somebody take you? Did somebody take you to visit the cathedral? Were you taken to visit the cathedral? The past simple. Notice the be verb in the past form. Were you taken? Be taken. Be taken. Notice be taken. The were you taken? Be taken. Were you taken to visit the cathedral? I have been invited. Be invited in the third form. Be invited in the third form. I have been invited to a wedding. Somebody has invited me. I have been invited. Somebody has invited me. I've been invited to a wedding. I'd love to be introduced to a film star. I'd love to be introduced. To be introduced. 2 plus V1. What is the V1? Be introduced. I would love to be introduced to a film star. Somebody will introduce me. Hey, meet Vinay Shankar Soni. Okay, that person will say this to me, to the film star like Shah Rukh or Katrina. Meet Vinay. I would love to be introduced to a film star. Okay, so we are going to wrap up. Tomorrow is the 24th. And Noelia, Rodrigo, the festival is closed. Would you like to be with me tomorrow, or would you like to be have fun with your family? Maybe we can take a break if you need to. Okay, if you want to, whatever you guys decide.
Yeah.
Noelia, Alejandro, Rodrigo, Gonzalo.
For me, I would like a break to spend time with my family.
Definitely,
Please.
I totally understand that, because it is the 24th night, which is the
Yeah.
same 25th. Of course, after 4 hours of my class, it will be the 25th Christmas. So maybe
Yeah.
we should take a break. We should take a break for tomorrow.
Thank
We
you.
will continue after 2 days break.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the 26th night, we will meet on the 26th night. Okay. You
Okay,
guys,
teacher.
yeah, you
Thank
guys
you.
enjoy your festival, and Merry Christmas from me. Have a lot of fun. Enjoy your time with your family,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you, teacher. Same to
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye. And don't
Thank you,
forget
Bye.
teacher.
to share
Thank you,
photos.
teacher.
Don't forget to share photos. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.